Hi everybody, this is Julissa. Thank you so much everyone for coming back to my channel. Thank you so much to everybody who's listening right now in the podcast. It is Tuesday, December 17, 2024. I wanted to come here and speak to you guys about this incident that happened in New Mexico, and it's just another example, guys, that spiritual warfare is very high right now. I mean, I never always dealt with this, but I just wanted to, to I guess just say it, to share that as we should be all fasting and praying, you guys. It's getting really bad. There's a lot of cases that are happening. But before I continue and share you this incident that happened, I just wanted to say thank you so much to everybody who has been subscribing on YouTube. Thank you so much to everybody who comes and watches the video. It really means a lot to me, you guys. The same thing. Thank you so much to everybody who has been listening in the podcast. Please don't forget to follow me on Spotify, okay? I just want to say to you guys, as we get closer to the end of 2024, in the last couple of weeks, in case you haven't noticed, I really hope that everybody's having a great time. It seems as though the enemy is going crazy. He's using people close to you to attack you, to slander you. I mean, there are people that you don't even know just creating a false narrative about you. And even random people just being rude to you. It could be driving, it could be at a store. It's just really bad right now. And I just feel like, because all these news that are coming out too, that tells you how the enemy's attacking as many people as he can. Just yesterday, I came here and told you guys about that shooting at the Christian school by a 17-year-old. And now I'm going to tell you about a 16-year-old young boy who went into his home and basically killed his entire family. And I just want to tell you guys, pray for the youth, okay? There's a lot of youth that need the Lord. I know there's a lot of the young people who are on fire for the Lord. Thanks God. Thanks to God. But you need to understand that there's also a huge society that's basically trying to steal the youth, right, for the kingdom of darkness. And we need to pray for the young people, okay? Especially these times, that everybody's so focused on social media. People have the perfect life on Instagram. Nobody's being honest with themselves, and they share the best photos, and everybody gets into the best schools. Everybody has the money to go traveling. Nobody says how much in credit card debt they are, how much they don't have to pay some bills. But then we have young people looking at their Instagram and saying, how come I don't have that? It makes them definitely wonder, So we have to pray for the youth, you guys, okay? So I'm going to read to you guys this incident that happened, like I told you. I don't have I'm trying to see when did it happen. But it says here, a New Mexico teenager has been charged with killing 4 members of his own family. Imagine that. 2 weeks, Christmas is next week, okay? According to the press release from New Mexico State Police, the teen was identified as 16-year-old, Diego Leiva. Police said Leiva called the police around 3:30 a.m. to report that he has killed his family in their home in Belen, New Mexico, as a small town about 33 miles south of Albuquerque. Let me tell you guys, I did hear the call that he made to the police, and he sounds so shocked. But at the same time, he's okay, everybody. So what I was saying is that he sounded very calm when he made that phone call and basically describing to the operator what he has done. But at the same time, there was a deep sadness that you can catch on from the call, as much as cold as he sound on that call, describing everything that he did. It's almost the realization of what he has done was basically taking over him. This kid was completely intoxicated, they're saying. Okay, once officers arrived at the house, the teen surrendered himself to deputies. It says here, quote unquote, Diego walked out of the residence with his hands in the air and was extremely intoxicated. He was taken into custody without incident, police say in statements. Officers found 4 people dead inside the house and a handgun on the kitchen table, and the deceased were identified as his father, Leonardo Leiva, 42 years old, his mother, Adriana Bencomo, 35 years old, and his brothers, aged 16 and 14. That's just the works of the enemy, guys. Through alcohol, okay, or whatever intoxication that he had, with whatever substance that he used, the enemy took over this young man's life. Life, and made him commit this awful act that now he's going to live the rest of his life remembering, okay? And how tragic it is that this happened. And yesterday, like I told you guys, the school shooting that happened, another young 17-year-old girl. We need to pray for the youth. We need to pray that, they come to the feet of Jesus, and we need to, there's so many things being directed right now to the youth, you guys. It's not just social media. There are things that are being presented in the schools. There are musicians that are using their own music to attract the youth and lie to them and sell this false reality also. And just being, I know being a teenager is very hard, and then you're basically bombarded with so many things coming at you. And then a lot of families are struggling financially, so mom and dad are usually working, and then you have teenagers just doing their thing at home, with their computers and searching online things and learning things of social media. So yeah, it's very hard right now. I do understand. But the way he said, there's something that Diego said on that call. And I gotta say, we have to give it to the operator. She was very calm. I mean, you have a young kid calling, saying what he did. And I know these people are trained to take calls like this, but even so, it's very hard to, I'm sure it's very hard to experience it. So she was very calm, because, can you imagine her panicking after talking to him and him explaining that? But he actually said, he felt like something took over him. And that's just a demonic entity. That's what it is, a demonic entity taking over him to do evil acts, okay? So let me see if I can search exactly what he said. We often hear, right? We often hear when there are people who do evil acts, and they go through, they call, and then they go through like describing how everything happened. And you can read about, I don't want you to do this, right? It's not for everybody, but you can read about crimes and things like that. And you can tell a lot of these people who commit evil acts, a lot of them, the majority, they have something in common, is that they say something to cover me. And that's just the demonic thing, right? Whatever open door was presented to the enemy, he took over, right? And Diego was fully intoxicated. That's what the police say. So it's very sad, you guys. Like I said, keep the youth in your prayers. It's very sad. And as like I said, we're getting closer to the end of the year. I do feel like spiritual warfare is very high right now. And I know a lot of people are struggling with a lot of things. So just keep praying, fasting and prayer, and reading your Bible, okay? Thank you so much, everybody, for coming back to my channel. Thank you to everybody who's listening in the podcast. Have a good day, everybody. God bless.